Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Urbana Daily Digital Podcast. I am so blessed with the response we continue to get throughout Champaign County and neighboring communities. It amazes me just how well this is reaching people and getting information into people's inboxes and into their feeds where otherwise they weren't getting in there. So I hope you're all enjoying it as much as I'm enjoying putting it together. We've been very lucky to have some great guests, and that does not stop today. I have got Cheryl Ogden, the director of the Museum and the Historic Society. So, Cheryl, if you want to first just kind of introduce yourself and kind of what all you do and what is what is the Historical Society in Champaign County, what is the museum, and just kind of give a more of a bird's eye view of kind of what your everyday looks like.
Okay. My name is Cheryl Ogden. I am the director of the Champaign County Historical Society, as Ryan just said. Um, at the Historical Society, our mission here is to preserve and educate the community on the history of Champaign County so that we don't lose our story. In the museum, we have a myriad of displays that discuss specific stories from people, from Warren Grimes to Dr. Curry. Um, and if you don't know those people, then you should probably come in and learn about them. But that's what we do here. Our mission is to ensure that people, when they come in, one, they have stories that they can enjoy learning about, and two, that they get a greater appreciation of our community.
No, I think it's awesome. I think there's so many people that have not actually stopped into the museum. And I think anybody that has a completely different understanding of history and just what you guys do. It amazes me every time I go in there of the amount of just artifacts that you guys have and just the wide array of things that, that any individual piece could be talked about for a lot of time. And it's just the amount of pieces. I could go in there every day of the year and probably still learn something new. Just in the amount of things that have been donated and that are just in good care with you guys right now.
It is kind of fun to talk to people as they come in. One of the most frequently heard comments is, "Well, my children aren't going to appreciate this, so I want this to go someplace that it will be appreciated." And it's funny because the parents or grandparents in some cases think that, and then it's their kids who come in and are like, "Oh, wow, I'm so glad they brought this here so that everybody can see it and not just me."
Yeah.
So it's always fun that way because you learn something new every day, you really do.
We're blessed to have a community that has been very giving in that way of giving that back to your organization and having things that exactly like you said, they can be enjoyed by not just their family or their small circles once they're gone, but it can be shared with anybody that walks into the inside of our community or visiting from outside of our community. That gives a better snapshot of kind of what our community has
Mhm.
done in the past, which is awesome. So speaking of the museum, Cheryl, I know that you have had this small task of maybe doing some renovations out there and have been working very hard to get a lot of things done. Kind of catch me up and walk me through what all's happening out there. What all kind of renovations are happening? What's happening for the good?
Okay, well, let's start with the big picture, and the big picture is we are completely redoing the inside of the museum. So, the small task thing is, non-existent. We do things in big bundles around here. So,
Go big or go
we
home, right?
have Yeah, exactly. We have been fortunate enough to have, been awarded a grant from the Ohio Facilities Construction Commission that allowed us to purchase all new cases so that we can tell the story better. Before, all of our cases were retail cases, so they were all horizontal, making it very difficult for people to see in them, especially if the person who came in was in a wheelchair. It was hard for them to get up high enough to be able to actually see inside the case. So these cases are all vertical cases. They are providing us 4 times the space to be able to tell the stories. So we can pull artifacts out of the
That's
basement
awesome.
that we haven't been able to pull out before. An example of that is Neil Siva out of Mechanicsburg, he was a race car driver. We have a car door from him that we weren't able to pull up and some of his photos and stuff. So we have those and trophies of his now on display where before we just didn't have the room for them. So we can talk about people like that. We're going to have displays about at Rear Admiral Joseph Fife, who was quite the character. He's one of my favorite stories out of everyone here in the museum. So it's just enabling us to go deeper into the history. Before we had a very thin depth of history and we just covered as much as we could. Now we're able to say, no, we need to focus on these people and this story and go deeper into those and really help people to learn about it.
Yeah.
And it's
There's been
quite
so
the
much
job.
happening there, and like you said, you're kind of completely redoing the inside, and so if someone's wanting to come in and check out the new when's a good time to do that? When's a good time to come in and check? Is now a good time? Should they wait a little bit longer to get the full experience? Should they come back twice? That's my personal opinion, but what do you think, is the best course of action for them?
I like the comeback twice. I like being able to come in and see, okay, I can see that there's progress being made. I can see what's being done, but I can also tell it's not done yet. And then come back after a while when we can focus more heavily on that because right now there's so many other things going on. It's hard to focus on one thing at a time. But come back and see what we've done and see the updates as they're going along. So that's always my opinion. And we're open Tuesday through Friday from 10 to 4 and on Saturdays from 10 to
Was gonna be
2.
my next question. So, one of the other cool things with the museum that I think, you guys have done really well with, and I think it's really cool to see the community getting on board, is you've come up with some really cool events. Obviously, Oktoberfest is a huge event. We'll talk about that here in a second, but I wanted to kind of focus on some of these newer things that you've been trying. I know that you guys have done things in conjunction with the cemetery and doing tours there. You've done things, I just talked to somebody the other day that's wanting to do a food and history tour and wanting to reach out to you guys to partner
Yeah.
with. But you guys got a couple things coming up. One of them is this really cool concept called Champaign County After Dark. Talk to me a little bit more about that idea, where that idea kind of came from, and what you're expecting for that.
Well, it was kind of funny because my youngest daughter, who's 28, for the last couple years since I've been here, has been nagging me nonstop. Mom, you've got to talk about these stories. They are awesome. People won't believe what's happened here in the past. You've got to talk about this. So this year, December, January, I finally said, okay, we'll do it. And started working with her on the research and everything she was finding, and the excitement that she felt became contagious, and the rest of us felt it too. Um, we have we'd only planned on doing 1 day for the Champaign County After Dark, and that was gonna be the 13th of September, and the tickets were limited to 60 people, and the tickets sold out in less than 24 hours. So we opened up a second day, which is gonna be this Saturday, the 20th, at 6 o'clock, and we are almost sold out of those as well.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And can you give any kind of sneak peek of maybe some of the stories, or what kind of stories to expect from that, without giving too much away?
Oh, yeah. Everything we talk about is pre-1930, so it's in the very early history of Champaign County. We don't want to offend anyone's family. We're not trying
Sure.
to create problems that way. Uh, but we talk a lot about bootlegging, some brothels, and of course, you can't have an after dark program without murder stories. So,
Sure.
but yeah, I won't go into too many details because I don't want to ruin the surprise for anybody coming.
Sure. No, that's awesome. That's perfect. Let's talk about, obviously the museum is in Champaign County is part of most people don't realize the amount of museums we have actually in Champaign County, the amount of things that we have to do, the amount of things that people actually, not only locals take advantage, but people come into Champaign County to see. I know that you guys were working on a museum crawl that has been a pretty cool concept. Talk to me a little bit more about that.
Well, I am working primarily with Michaela Prescott over at the Appleseed Museum. I approached her with an idea and she was 100% on board. So we have been working for several months to get other museums. We have 7 total right now, and we're hoping that there's another surprise yet to come for that. That's going to be October 18th. And it's just to show people the the absolute love of history that we have in this community. We have so many museums, and we're not even hitting all of them. There's still, excuse me, the Mid-American Flight Museum who couldn't get the hours arranged. There's still a Piat Castles just on the other side of the county line.
Yeah.
So there's so much right here in this small area, that it's kind of exciting to get us working together and just promoting each other.
Yeah. I think it's unique because you have people that come in for one of these, maybe sometimes 2 or 3 specific, museums, but they don't realize all the others that are here, and then when they do, a lot of times they'll come, they'll plan their day, and then they stop at one of these museums, and they're like, "Well, you gotta go try this museum," or, "Have you been over here?" And then it brings people back into our community as well when they get here, and to your point, we have such a wealth of history and knowledge, in Champaign County that is so well displayed, and we have so many great organizations like yours that are doing it right and taking the time to make sure that it is preserved correctly, that it is presented correctly, and always finding better ways to kind of present it to the community. So I thank you for that.
Oh,
Um,
thank you. I'm very excited about it. I think it's so important that these organizations work together because so many times people, oh, well, this museum or that museum, and they tend to think of us as competing with one another and
sure.
not really working together. And that's what we do more than anything else is work together and try to help one another.
Yeah. Agreed. I couldn't agree more. So let's talk about this little thing called Oktoberfest that's going to be happening as well. You guys have such a busy, busy, busy fall. I love it. So for those people that have not been out to Oktoberfest, give me your pitch. Why come out? What all is there? What to expect? Give me your thoughts.
Okay. Well, Oktoberfest is on October 5th this year, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Oktoberfest is it started as a craft show. So there were just craft vendors. That's pretty much all it was for a while. We have expanded into food trucks and we have a beer truck and garden there. We are going to be selling the Urbana Brewery beer this year. So we're having the artisan style craft beer. Um, and it is, generally speaking, regardless of the weather, it is a good time. You get to come out, you get to walk around, you get to try new foods, you get to look at really some fabulously made crafts. And the people, from my experience, have always been super friendly about it. They're always happy to see people coming through the gates. We have such a variety. We have anything from refurbished furniture to um, woodworking to home baked goods. So there's just it's a nice variety of items, so you can find something for everyone here. And the museum is always open during that time, so you can stop in and see what's going on.
That's great. That's great. Um, if people want to learn more about any of the things that we've talked about, so some of the events that are happening, Oktoberfest, more information on the museum, what's the best place? Where's the best place for them to go check that out?
Best place is our website. We have the information listed there. And then if you can't get on there or you're just on your phone and it's easier to look up Facebook, we're also on Facebook, so you can find us there. And we always post all our information there as well. Or you can always call the museum.
Carol, is there anything else we missed? You guys have so much going on. I'm sure that we will be doing this again, at a different time of the year, and maybe you get your head back above water with all the renovations. And I can't wait to see all that. But is there anything else that you feel like we missed or that you wanted to share while I have you now?
Not at this moment, but I really would like to invite you to come in once we get everything at least to a presentable place where it's not a big problem, to come in and tour the facility and show your viewers and your listeners what they are missing.
I would love to, and I would definitely take you up on that offer as well. Cheryl, thank you so much for not only everything that you do, but just having a heart for history in our community. It takes somebody that gets this big picture, and to your point, knows that we need to be working together and we can be stronger when we do so. So thank you for everything that you do behind the scenes, as well as hopping on here with me today to be able to share this with the rest of the county. So thank you so much.
It was a pleasure talking with you, Ryan.